All right, guys. So today is September 29th, and it is currently 11:05 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And what you're looking at here is SPX 15-minute time frame. Now, today was a very interesting day. We're going to dive into it. I did not take any trades today. I did not place any trades again today. So that's 2 days in a row with no trades. Um, I'm very careful with the trades that I do take, and I want to make sure that when I do make a trade, it's very the possibility of it going in my favor is very high. So I am very careful with what I'm doing. And I'm going to explain to you kind of why I didn't place a trade today, why I didn't take any trades, why I'm being patient in this circumstance. And I'll kind of explain to you kind of the price action of the day, where you could have taken a trade if you wanted to take a trade. Would have been risky, obviously, which is why I did not take it. But nonetheless, we shall dive into this right away. So I'm going to go to the 1 hour time frame to start things off. Kind of explain to you what I saw. So we started off the day, or we finished off the day yesterday with basically we made a higher low. Okay, we were in an uptrend for the majority of the day yesterday, but then we failed to make another higher high and instead made a higher low, which signified a potential trend change back to the downside. And we did not get a lower low to confirm that move to the downside. Instead, we got a same low. Very interesting. So, with that being said, this wasn't a trend change confirmation. This was a possibility of a trend change. And as you can see, we did not get that because we gapped up this morning and we basically created a higher high on the 1 hour time frame, and we've been selling off basically this whole day. So I was watching the price action very carefully in the overnight session on ES because I wanted to see what was going on here. And I'm going to take you guys over to ES and kind of explain the main reason why I didn't take any trades today. So ES, let's switch to that really quickly. I'm going to show you guys the daily time frame here, and I'll explain exactly why we didn't take any trades. So we've been in a very nice downtrend on the daily time frame for quite some time here. We made a lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low, and another lower low. So yesterday we had this bullish engulfing candle on the daily time frame, okay? And on top of that, we had a trend change confirmation on the 1 hour time frame on SPY. This suggested to me that we're basically in the process of creating a higher low on the daily time frame. Now that is exactly in fact what we did. So in the overnight session, right, the most logical place for a higher low to take place would be the previous lower low on the daily, which in this case would be 4360 on the ES futures. Now, as you can see, basically today we opened up right at that level. 4360.75 is the area that I would have expected a higher low to be formed. And funny enough, we opened up right at that level on SPY this morning on the 1 hour time frame. We actually created a higher high on the 1 hour time frame on SPY, meanwhile creating a higher low on the daily on the ES futures. Okay, so basically what happened was, even though we are in an uptrend on the 1 hour time frame yesterday and this morning, we have been in a downtrend on the daily, and we have been for quite some time. So once we gapped up and we opened right at 4360 area this morning, right at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we were in a very, very tricky situation because basically there is a possibility that we go for, there's a possibility that we keep going higher, right? That possibility was definitely there. But the issue is that, number one, the daily trend is downside bearish. And we gapped up at a very good place to create a higher low. And then right away from the get-go in the morning, we started rejecting that area, right? Now, we started rejecting that same area. We started pulling down. So one could have suggested that, okay, We're definitely rejecting that higher low area on the daily, and we could definitely see a move now to the lower low. Now, the market is open. It is 11:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The market is open for almost another 2 hours. As you can see here, our bias is completely accurate because as soon as we hit that higher low area at 4560, we rejected, created a massive wick from above, and now we're in the process of creating a bearish engulfing on the daily time frame. So this setup right here looks phenomenal for puts. Phenomenal for puts. What I could expect is if we close the way that we are right now on the daily, we can definitely expect a huge move to the downside on Monday. We could possibly even gap down on Monday morning and then continue moving further down on Monday, creating a brand new lower low on the daily time frame. And my target would be 42.73. That's what I would be looking for to take a trade. Now, based off how this candle closes today, will completely tell me whether or not I'm going to buy puts and ride this position down to 42.73. That would be my target. That would be where I would think the lower low would form, and at that point we could go for another higher high. So basically, at this point in time this morning, the reason why I didn't take a trade was because even though we were in an uptrend on the 1 hour time frame, technically what I would want to be looking for is calls on the 50-minute time frame for an entry, but that would be counter trend to our daily time frame. And not to say that that's a bad thing, because when you're trading the 50-minute time frame and the 1 hour time frame, you could definitely trade the higher lows and the lower lows. You can trade both. However, obviously safer to trade whatever the current trend is. So if we're in a downtrend, it's safer to trade the lower lows. In this situation, because we gapped up and opened up right where I believed the higher low would form, I personally didn't think that we had room to go higher. So for that reason, for me, taking calls was risky. However, if you wanted to take calls at the end of the day yesterday and ride it up to the higher low, and you could have sold this morning for definitely some profits, that would have been okay. Now let's go back to SPX, and we're going to take a look at kind of what I saw during the day today. So on the 1 hour time frame, like I said, we opened up right at that gap fill area, right? And immediately we started coming down. And on the 50-minute time frame, you could have definitely taken some potential positions. So, for example, the first trade that you could have taken was definitely right here. This was a bearish engulfing in the 15. The wick was much larger than both the bodies of the previous candles, and this suggests that the sellers are in control and we're going to see a move lower. The only issue for me was that at this point, right, this was counter trend on the 1 hour time frame. Although we are trading confluently with the daily, on the 1 hour, technically we were in an uptrend, right? Because we just finished making a higher high in the overnight session. So for me, although I wasn't necessarily looking for calls, because I felt as though we were very overextended in terms of the higher low was more than likely already formed, and which is why we rejected and started coming down. The problem for me was that we were creating a higher high on the 1 hour, and that was basically situated right when the market opened. We came down, and instantly one could assume that, okay, we're going for a gap fill here. Now, obviously, at this point, as you can see, the gap has more than already been filled, and there's a couple of areas where you could have taken some trades, right? Obviously, the 50-minute time frame is very bearish today. We're making beautiful lower lows and higher lows all day long, so you can technically trade with this. However, I like to capture those larger moves, and I only like to trade positions when the 1 hour and the 15 are confluent with one another. So basically, all day, until we broke below 42.9867 on the 1 hour, technically, there is no confirmation of a trend change to the downside on the 1 hour. So right now, at exactly 10:30, when this big red candle closed on the 1 hour, this was a confirmed lower low on the 1 hour time frame. So now at this point, you can definitely see that there's a trend change on the 1 hour time frame. So now we are back to being bearish on the 1 hour time frame. We're bearish on the daily time frame and on the 15-minute time frame as well. As you can see, we are also bearish. So now we're bearish on all time frames, which is exactly what I want to see. Now, the one issue comes at the fact that we've had 5 red candles in a row, and this is our lower low now, right? And whenever this candle closes, will also be our new lower low. Now, based off where ES is, we're more than likely going to create a higher low on the 1 hour time frame before the end of the day today. That is my assumption. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but one can easily assume a higher low in the process here before 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And at that point, once we create that higher low on the 1 hour time frame, that would be your trend change confirmation back to bearish. And then at that point, I would be looking for an entry on the 50-minute time frame, such as a bearish engulfing candle. So something like this, right? So this is beautiful. Basically, what I would want to see is, because we've been massively selling off all day, it's very likely to assume that the selling pressure is definitely dying down. The selling pressure is definitely exhausted at this point. And at some point, in order to continue coming down lower, we need to make a higher low before we can make another lower low. This is a given. So basically, what I'd want to see is a candle like this, right? A massive bearish engulfing candle on the 15. That would provide me with a great opportunity to enter in for puts. But before we get that, what I want to see is, I want to see a higher low formulate below this level of 42.98. If we can get a higher low below 42.98, not only would we have a lower low on the 1 hour, but then we also have a higher low, confirming the trend change confirmation back to bearish. So then we know, okay, we're bearish on the daily. Now we're 100% bearish on the 1 hour. Now we just have to look for an entry on the 15. At that point, your risk of your position going against you is very, very low, and your position is very safe. So basically, like I said, on ES, what we have is a beautiful bearish engulfing candle on the daily time frame forming right now. By the looks of it, it's going to close like that, and if it does, I will be getting into puts first thing Monday morning without a doubt, and I will be holding basically the whole day. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, before this candle closes, like I said, definitely you can see that we created a higher low. So the most logical thing now would be to create a lower low on the daily, and that's what I'm looking at taking. So once we create that higher low on the daily, on the 1 hour time frame, my apologies, on the 1 hour time frame, once we create that higher low, that will be all the confirmation for me to say, okay, we're done chopping, we're done going higher. We're definitely going to make a move to the lower side now on the daily. And then at that point, I would look for an entry on the 50-minute time frame, such as this, right? A bearish engulfing. That's what I would want to see. So there was definitely some opportunities to take a trade today. For example, right here, right here, right here, even right here even. But again, all of these are risky because we haven't received that trend change confirmation on the 1 hour yet. And before we take any trades, we want to be 100% certain that they're going to go in our favor so we can be profitable and protect our capital. So anyways, guys, that was basically my analysis for the day. I hope that helped and clarified a little bit. If you guys would like to see more videos like this, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to make them. So anyways, that was it for the day today. No trades for me. Today was another day where we made no money, but that's okay. That comes with trading. Patience is one of the most important things. So anyways, guys, thank you and have yourself a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.